Teachers are wondering why students are doing this during the day. Well, students should start school later in the morning. School should not start until 9 a.m. More sleep helps students retain more information that they learn at school. If students don't have enough sleep, they won't remember what they learned as much. Students need to be well rested so they can focus in school. It'll help them prepare for the 9 to 5 workday, and it's good to have a set schedule the rest of your life. You don't want to confuse your body when you should sleep and eat. That's why it's important to have a set schedule. Doctors strongly recommend at least 8 hours of sleep. Starting later would help reinforce this. Doctors think it's important to have a good night rest. Everybody learns better when they're awake. Overtired teens eat more fatty foods. Kids who get less hours of shut-eye consume more calories. Kids could become obese from not eating enough sleep. It's also important for our children's safety. Kids that are out walking to the bus or driving in the dark can get drowsy, and the driving increases accidents for students. If they are running late, they hurry to school and it can cause an accident. If we started school later, less accidents would happen because less kids would be late. Kids who are tired can't learn at their best. It impairs learning, memory, and attention as much as it impairs health and overall well-being. Academic improvements have been shown, and overall school climate has been measurable improved when high schools have restored later start times. That citation is www.startschoollater.net. Hundreds of schools around the United States have restored later start times. They are seeing large and small benefits to physical and mental health, learning, attendance, graduation rates, car crashes, and overall student well-being. Students do not have time for breakfast in the morning, so they can't function properly without breakfast. It gives students fuel for the day when they skip it. They aren't proving enough fuel for oxidation of glucose. Students have a hard time staying awake throughout the school day. Students take naps during classes and miss many things. Students are so tired that they can't even concentrate or focus, and that's when their grades start falling behind. I think changing the school start time would be difficult. However, it would help kids and their sleep habits. Students are having difficulty staying awake for school hours. People may think that's because they choose to stay up all night. But if students are in sports and they have away games, they don't get home till late. Plus, when they get home, they still have homework to do. They have to study, and it causes a student to lack the 8 hours of sleep that they should be getting. The later school start times could be very beneficial, but the change in times also could cause many problems that can't be dealt with easy. Even if kids were to get up a little bit earlier, they could do homework in the morning or study. That is on theconversation.com. I also found something in a magazine about the school start times. Um, Starting school at 8:30 a.m. would for middle school would still even be beneficial. Um, it is recommended by the American Academy. Research show adolescents are better off rising later than falling asleep earlier. 42 states in which at least 75% of schools start before 8:30. The early classes make it more difficult for students to sleep the 8.5 to 9.5 hours per night. Studies have shown that 60% of students who slept at least 8 hours per night in Minnesota high schools that started at 8:30 or later, according to 2014 study form of the University of Minnesota, helped them. The majority of American schools began too early in the day. And studies say leaving students groggy and grumpy. That's why I think school should start their times later in the day to help the students out.